From Viking halls to the cities of the future, terrain buffs will love our foreground hub. Watch gaming tables of all genres come to life at beastsofwar.com. Become a general of mighty armies at the Kings of War hub. Take command of elves, dwarves and orcs in this game of massed fantasy combat on beastsofwar.com.
Hi guys, welcome to Relic Knights Quest. I'm joined by John from Ninja Division. Now, we've actually been playing away at a few games here, but we're sort of mid-game here, and you've decided you want to stop and actually talk to everybody on camera because you've been noticing a few things that I've been doing that you really think a beginner should just be looking at and doing instead of doing wrong.
You know, there's a classic beginner learning curve to how it is we go about doing this stuff, and everybody wants to play out a full battle game exactly the way they've been doing it in the past. And we wanted Relic Knights to be a different experience. I know you've had fun moving your guys around and taking snapshots at everything it is that you can find, and you put down one of my no Berserkers and filled them full of holes, and you've been having fun taking shots left and right, but I'm more in line right now to score points and win this game than you are presently just sitting back and playing Fireline.
Okay.
So what is your main scenario? What is your objective? What are you trying to accomplish according to your cards?
The first thing on my card is Tear It Down, which is my primary objective. It's worth 5 victory points.
Yep.
To accomplish Tear It Down, you must destroy either one enemy primary objective or 2 enemy secondary objectives.
Right. And my primary is hanging out over here.
Okay.
And my secondaries are on both sides of the table. And presently you have put 0 damage on them. So when tracking damage, they take a little while to beat up. So if you're going to pull down my primary, you got to start putting some fire on that in order to win those 5 points. Now, the size of game we're playing out of the 2 starter boxes is really only about 35 points. It's a light skirmish. So we only play to 8 points per side to determine the winner. So 5 points is really significant at that point. The only other way to score points is secondary mission objectives, taking out enemy units, and then whatever your faction objective is too.
Yeah, well, my secondary is Anarchy. To accomplish Anarchy, you must place a sabotage token on 5 different objectives, enemy or friendly.
Yep, and so that allows you to dance around and just drop up objectives, but you haven't started doing that either.
Okay.
If you've noticed, the reason why my no Berserker keeps bouncing over here is that he keeps pulling heist tokens off of your primary.
So this is my primary right in here. And this guy's pulling tokens off it? Okay.
Yep. And so my primary, of course, is heist.
Okay.
And so if I pull that 3rd token off and drop it off at my primary, or excuse me, drop it off at the board edge, that's worth 5 points to me, and I'm well on my way to winning the game.
Okay.
So, so shall we continue and just kind of see how things boil out?
Yeah, okay. Was it my activation or yours?
It was, you had just finished your activation, you still needed to reload your queue because you have an empty slot.
Well, actually, no, because we're playing a starter game, so isn't it 2 slots, yeah?
No, it is 2 slots, excuse me, right.
Yeah. So I am picking some stuff.
No, okay, good. You picked at that part, but I do recall you just activated, so you just filled it with your
I just put my Diamond Corp back to the end of the line.
Okay, and you cleaned up your hand, so you got a full hand of 5 cards.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Then it would go back to me.
Okay.
So the first unit I'm going to activate are my Berserkers, because those guys are still in queue. My render slides on over, and I'm going to go ahead and activate. Now, he's got a 6-inch movement, and it's a safe bet. I can just run right over here back to your objective. And I'm going to do just what I did last turn, and I'm going to pick up a heist token and stick it on my guy. Now, he has that heist token. I finished that. That is his activation. But he has a follow-on move, and he is now going to take and buck his 6 inches and try to get back to a board edge.
Okay.
So we're going to run this big stompy meathead back over here and take his token with him. And it looks like he's probably a couple turns away from scoring me a couple of points.
Okay.
So he's on his way to success. I'm going to go ahead and finish the activation by moving him over to the idle pool and selecting a new unit to stick in my stack. I didn't spend any cards. I want to keep them, so I don't need to refresh my hand.
That's fine.
And I'm going to push High Priestess Zenata into my next open slot.
So on the table, this is this character here.
Yep. She's my questing knight.
Okay, so this is your knight.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is also something I wanted to point out. In your game so far, you've really enjoyed using all your shooty guys.
Yeah.
You've not activated your knight or your cipher yet. They're your most powerful models in your force.
Well, I like tanks and I like infantry.
I know. I'm just saying, like, you want to score some points and get out there and make a mess, those guys will keep me off of those objectives by knocking them out and doing all kinds of crazy stuff to me.
Okay, so I maybe need to change what I'm doing here.
Well, switching it up might be good for a couple of points. So.
Okay. Well, as you can see on my panel here, I've got my Blitz auto tank ready to activate. I assume I can now activate him, yeah?
Yep, he's good to go.
Okay, so I'll activate him because he's in the queue already. The one thing I need to do is actually just annoy the hell out of you right now.
That's fair.
It's something I've been doing through the game so far. The Blitz Auto Tank has a explosive shell, which I really enjoy using. Simply because it has a knockback ability, which knocks a character out of the ready activation slot. So activating it, I'm actually not going to move it. I'm going to continue with my plan here. So he is going to fire directly up at this guy up here, who is your big shooty guy.
Yep.
So hopefully I have what I need to activate the ability. So the ability itself, to start its activation, if you look on the close camera here, it's going to cost me 2 purple and 1 blue. So there's 2 purple, there's 1 blue. So I've activated that. If I remember right, I then take his shooting stat, which is 3.
Yep.
So I'll draw 3 new cards, 2 and 3. And then I have the option to put actions onto it, yeah?
Correct.
Okay. So what I need to add to it is 3 red, which I have in my hand, thankfully.
All right.
So I'll add my 3 red. So this is now doing 4 damage with Blast 3 and knockback on it.
Okay, so I'm taking the shot. I now need to go to my shooting defense skill for my no render.
Yep.
He's got 3, so I'm going to add 3 cards to my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go to his card to see if he has a defensive ability. I can already tell you he does not. He's just kind of big and facey. So these cards might be able to do me some good next round. We could talk about that in a second. But let's go ahead and resolve the combat. So how much damage are you doing?
It's only doing 4 damage.
4 damage. Now he's got armor of 3. So unless you have piercing or something, he'll take 1 point.
Ah, right.
But that's a successful attack. Now, you said you had knockback on that as well?
Yes, it has knockback.
Well, that is terrible for me. So presently, my render was next in line to activate. So knockback is going to take him out and stick him in my idle pile, forcing his activation to be delayed. So that's going to force up Zaneta for next turn and push him out of his position. Yeah. He's been kind of annoying because he sits up on top of his little building and takes pot shots at your guys, which is why you don't have 2 little Diamondback hanging out in that squad right now. Yeah. Which was quite annoying. So, that sounds like it wraps it up.
Yeah, that wraps up my turn. So I'll put the cards that I've used into my discard pile.
Okay. And I have over 5 cards, so I need to take all my stuff and clean it out and stick it in my discard pile. And keep my cards
and then I can discard from mine and then draw up. I actually quite like what I've got here, so I'm just going to draw 2 more.
Okay.
Which should be absolutely fine. Yeah, that'll work.
Cool. And your last guy is going to go to the empty slot, right?
Yeah, so this guy I'm going to take out of here, and you're saying I need to actually start activating my Knight and my Cypher, yeah?
Absolutely.
So I'll just put my Knight in there, just for handiness.
Okay.
And if I get to activate him, I'll see what happens.
Great. Okay, so that's end of round for you. Now starts for me.
On to you, yeah.
All right, well, my questing Knight is now the character who's going to be activating. And she's all juiced up because I have been activating her. So every time I start her within line of sight of her Cypher, she's gaining a held Esper.
Okay, so
she's sitting on 3 of those right now.
Here to here.
Correct, yeah, because I can still draw a line of sight to the character.
Yeah.
So again, beginning of the round, I draw a line of sight. I'm going to add another held Esper to the top of her pile, actually maxing out her stored Esper. So she's got 4 on her.
Okay.
So
what do those count as color-wise?
Well, basically, I can spend them and get 1 Esper of any color I want for each token, right?
Okay.
So it's kind of a nice extra boost if I need to, cover some of my spells.
Okay.
So in her case, I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of her movement and bring her into combat with your Diamond Corp troopers right there. So I knock my own little models over.
Yeah.
So she's going to come flaring in there, claws out, just like, making a mess of stuff. And she is going to use Bloodletting, which is her melee attack. Okay. So Bloodletting for her, out of hand, I need 2 red and a purple to get it going. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 red and one of the multis here for a purple.
Okay.
Now I'm going to draw her close combat skill, which is 2. So she draws 2 cards into hand.
And my Diamond Corp are also a 2, so I'll draw those in.
Okay. And I am going to spend 2 purple now to boost my power to give it damage 7 as opposed to damage 5.
Okay.
And then I'm going to spend 3 red, which is 2 red and my last multi, to give it a piercing of 2. So I know you have armor on, but I don't plan on letting you keep it. So
yeah, well, they've got armor 1 for a start.
Yep.
They have an ability called Force Screen, so I could up that to armor 2.
Possibly.
So I think I actually will do that. It's going to cost me 2 blue and 1 purple.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I will use one of my multis and this, which is giving me 2 blue.
Yep.
So they now have armor of 3.
Okay. And then her attack is going to resolve now because you've played your cards. Presently, she's coming in at damage 7. You are armor 3 minus 2 for piercing, so you count as armor 1. So you're going to take 6 damage. And each of your troopers only has 3 life points, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to clean out 2 of your guys. She's going to rake 2 down.
Oh. Now, just a quick question.
Yeah.
In this scenario, I assume I take the 2 guys that are in base contact, yeah?
You are going to pull the nearest models from the combat as best as able.
Yeah. Okay. So this guy and this guy will die.
But the important thing to remember is that in this game, there's no actual contiguous combat, and I'll show you what I mean. Models are still relatively free-flowing and bouncing all over the place. This is an anime, crazy streaming lights and screaming and yelling and explosions, and your poor guys just got misted. She still has 6 more inches of movement.
Okay.
So because you're smaller, she can actually just ignore you, and she's just going to do a somersault right over the top of your head and just start moving this way.
Oh, right.
So your poor gunner's, up into the sky as she goes screaming over. So we'll just leave him there to die later.
Well, this actually really sucks for me because that really messes with my plan, because if you look at my activation pool, the next activation was my Diamond Corp. So they've taken a major hit, and now they're activating at a lot less effectiveness.
Yep. And I need to go ahead and refill my hand here real quick. So that puts me 3,
well, I'm still on 5, so I don't need to do anything.
And she's going to go back to my idle pile, and I'm going to fill my pile because you already kicked her out once. Okay. I'm going to put her back in at the front of the line.
So that knockback that I did is actually not as good an idea as I thought it was.
Well, the Redder didn't get to activate, right?
But she's now getting to activate twice in a row.
That's right. And then I'm going to go ahead and put Spite, who is her Cipher, in there as well. So, yeah, she didn't use any of her stored Esper. Okay. It is now it's your turn to go.
That's really sucky for me. Okay, so my Diamond Corp, my last guy, is going to activate. Leopold will move up, and I now have to decide what I'm going to do with this last lonely little guy. Looking across the battlefield, he's got a movement of 6'5", so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to have him move 6 inches this way, just to get away from the big scary monster, and he will shoot at your Kyojin Berserker with his action.
Yep. Now remember, if you damage him, I drop my token. Yeah. So that absolutely slows me down. Yeah. So as a defensive ploy, that's a great way to keep me from scoring points.
I think it's, well, really it's just me going, big scary monster is running away with a token. I didn't know it actually made it drop it, so that's just a bonus for me. Okay, so where is he? He's just going to go for a rifle burst, which is going to cost me 2 purple. Okay. Which, oh, thankfully I have. Thankfully I have. So I'll use 1 multi and a single here. So it's going to do damage 3. And I can't put anything else onto it, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I'm a big angry meatbag, so I am going to draw my
actually,
1.
I forgot. I have to draw my shooting, which is 2.
There you go.
So that might actually. Oh, come on. Yes. So what I can also do now. Yep. I can put on 2 red to give it piercing 1.
Okay. Very cool. Now you already know that my guys don't have armor, so piercing is unless you needed red for something else.
No, I don't need red for something else. Okay. It's just in case you have some whizzy spell that you can actually put down to gain armor on him.
I can get a little whizzy if I need to, but I really only get to draw my 1 dice for shooting. I am, in fact, just a big spiky meatbag. So I draw my thing. I know I don't have any defensive abilities. I do have recover, so I'm going to be able to souse some of those wounds up a little bit. But you're doing 3 damage?
3 damage.
Okay, so I have a recover of 2. So I take 3, I heal 2, I take 1. But in the process of doing so, I also drop my token. So when dropping my token, that's going to force me another turn of moving, reacquiring it, and then trying to book off with it.
Yeah. Okay. Right, well, that'll be him activate it. So he is pretty much useless to me for the rest of this battle. So I'm going to take him, put him into the idle pile, and I'm going to put the auto tank back into the mix for next turn.
That's a harsh decision. Okay. Fair enough. You've been abandoned, poor trooper.
Sometimes you have to abandon men in combat. I know some people say never leave a man behind, but in tabletop wargaming, sometimes leave him behind.
That happens. All right, well, Zeneda's activating again, and her eyes glow with a little bit of lust, and she peers over her shoulder because apparently she forgot one. So she's going to spin on you and move her 6 inches and come roaring up right behind you like a big shadow, claws out, crackling with fun. And she's going to try to get off her bloodletting again. Now, she only needs 2 red and a purple to do this, so I'm going to go...
Oh, actually, I forgot.
I'm sorry? Yeah.
I need to discard and draw from my hand.
You should do that.
Yes. So I think I'm actually going to discard 3 to draw 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this should work. Okay.
So again, I'm going to go down for 2 red, and I'm going to add 1 of my held Esper. Now, I had a full container of Esper here, so I actually couldn't have picked one up from my little snaky gal over here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up one of these and use it as a purple. Okay. So that's going to go ahead and count as my casting of the spell to get off my damage 5 ability. Now, I am also going to draw my melee attack skill of 2. So putting 2 cards into the hand, and then see if I can do anything else. I am going to spend 2 more red and 1 more token to get 3 red to give piercing 2 to the attack. So my last attack is coming in at power 5. Pierce 2, and she has Reeve as well as Life Leech. So, shink!
Yeah, I think I can't really do anything at this point because he's going to die anyway. So I don't really see any point spending my Esper on his ability.
Makes sense.
You know, so I think he's just off with his head.
You know, body gonna animate, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to remove this model from play. Now, a couple things happen when this happens, okay? Right away, I'm going to score a victory point for taking out the unit. Okay. Because we just do that. So I score a point. I'm also going to take what's called a slave token. Right. Because I'm playing No Empire, their faction objective for an additional 2 points is to grab that token, which is this guy's poor lifeless body, and drag him and throw him in a cage. So I have to take that body over to my primary objective, and I score an additional 2 points. Oh. So she's a point scorer right now. So go ahead and take that little corpse right there.
Yeah, I'll take the corpse, but... So, hang on, she hasn't actually killed him, she's just knocked him out.
She knocked him out, and he's squealing and squirming over his shoulder. Now, in doing this, she has 2 more abilities which come into play when she removes models from play. Okay. The first is Life Leech, which allows her to heal. Thankfully, you haven't put any holes in her, otherwise she can heal up to 3 points of life for that. Okay. And the other one is Reeve, which means once I take you out, I take a little piece of your soul. In that essence, I get to turn into another held Esper. So I get to take another token, stick it back on top, and she recharges her battery. I see. She's kind of mean that way.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to take all of this saucy stuff over here, put it to my discard pile, discard stuff out of my hand I don't need, clean up my mess.
Yeah. Well, I think we can call it at this point. I'm actually wanting to move across to backstage because I want to have a chat with you off camera. Okay. And we'll actually come back with basically I'm going to have you give me some advice on how to save myself in this horrible, horrible situation.
You bet. Well, as I finish up here, she's going to take her follow-on movement to 6 and move over to your primary objective to pick up another heist token while I'm at it. So
just in case.
Just in case.
Okay. Well, guys, I tell you what. Come across, join us on backstage where we will be continuing this scenario to actually see, can I save myself, or is it just going to be a case of John hammering me? Oh, no. So, we'll see you there. So, I could attack Zaneta here with the Blitz Auto Tank, but I don't want to. I'm going to attack the big guy on the roof. Okay. Just because I really don't like him. So my Blitz Auto Tank is going to activate. It's not going to move. It's just going to sit there, and it's going to fire off another of its explosive rounds. So the unfortunate thing is, this time I'm having to use one of my 2 blue Espers instead of a 1, because I can't use both on the card at the same time. It has to be one or the other, and I can use a 2 to count as a 1. Yeah.
Fight for the Iron Kingdoms as a warcaster. Take control of the mighty jacks, arcane devices, and dark sorceries to bring the fight to the War Machine Hub on beastofwar.com. Progress comes to a world of magic as science and the arcane combine to make marvels. Meet steampunk inventors and orc mystics at the Volsun Hub on beastofwar.com.